Today's weather update video, we're going to be talking about the severe weather threat happening across the central Appalachians to the east coast over the next couple of days. So today we do have a slight risk, kind of for a rare area almost. We have a slight risk of severe weather that goes all the way down here from Tennessee and Mississippi all the way up to around the mid-Ohio Valley. And we could be seeing quite a bit of stuff in this. Our biggest risk going to be the wind risk, having up to a 15% chance, kind of going all the way again from Mississippi, Alabama, and Tennessee, all the way up to Ohio, West Virginia, near southwestern Pennsylvania, here near my neck of the woods, but we do have a 15% chance wind risk. We do also have a hail risk that is also present, that actually extends all the way down to Texas and Oklahoma and goes all the way up through the Appalachians. And then we even do have a tornado risk, a 2% tornado risk from Tennessee, actually all the way up to southwestern Pennsylvania. So we do, and we might have, some tornadoes here and there, by like one or two happening across here for, rest of today. You can see we aren't going to have a lot of storm activity until like probably around 6 to 7-ish, kind of like late evening times. And we could see that already around 0Z, which I do believe is around the 6 to 7 p.m. time frame, we are going to have those storms already moving through Pennsylvania, West Virginia, Kentucky, Tennessee even, as we kind of move throughout like midnight. Midnight, things are going to get a lot worse. We're going to have these storms moving through across the Ohio Valley, as well as a little bit of the Tennessee Valley as well, as we move throughout the midnight into early morning hours. Hopefully from what this is showing is that the severe weather will weaken into more of a, rainy type situation, which I do believe is going to happen because we're going to lose a lot of that, warm air in the air. So the storms are going to be much weaker. As we do move in tomorrow, we will have a second round moving through Kentucky, Tennessee, and Alabama, moving eastward towards the Carolinas, Virginias, and as well as a lot of the southeast as well. Then since we do have that 2% tornado risk, I am going to also show the significant tornado parameter. I don't show this much, but this video is going to be a fast, quick video, so I just want to show this real quickly. We already do see that right around, very late, like 10 p.m. or something like that. Over here in like eastern Kentucky, West Virginia, western Virginia, eastern Tennessee, some areas could receive up to, 1.1, maybe up to 1.5 in some very few isolated areas. Again, our risk is going to be really down here between Tennessee, Kentucky, Ohio, and West Virginia. As we move through, that risk will die down as we get through overnight because we're going to lose a lot of that daytime heating and the sun heating. So the tornado threat is really only going to be a late evening threat, and then as we move into the early morning hours, that'll no longer be really a threat to anybody. And then tomorrow we do have a very long slight risk. We basically, what I like to call the French fry, from all the way from down here from Baltimore all the way up to Portland, Maine, along the 95 corridor, the northeastern corridor. So Philly, Baltimore, New York, a little bit of Boston, but Boston might be out of this one, at least for the slight risk. And then we do have a much larger, I've never seen this before, I think, but we have a marginal risk that's very thin, that's going up from Maine all the way down to Georgia, extending the whole East Coast way. So we are going to have a quite big risk, which even if I do click on this small bit, this only 115,000 miles squared area can impact up to 40 million people, which is a lot of people in one area because we're including a lot of the northeast corridor and as well as the southeastern corridor as well. That our biggest risk is going to be the wind risk, which we do have a 15% chance of throughout, between Portland, Baltimore, Philadelphia, New York City as well. So we do have a hail risk. It is a 5% hail risk between, New Hampshire, and South Carolina specifically. It's just a 5% chance, but it still could happen. We even do have a 2% tornado risk up here. This time on the I-95 corridor between Philly and Portland, as we could be seeing, one or two tornadoes here and there. Flooding isn't actually really going to be much of a concern at all. We do have a 5% chance down here in southern Florida, as well as our severe weather threat zone, and also the southwest, some of that monsoon rain, but no major, not even slight risk, excessive rainfall, which is something unusual and like something that we typically see a lot, but we're actually, haven't been seeing, so that's good for the most part. Day 2, we also still do not have a slight risk. Up here in the northeast, southern Florida, as well as the southwest, maybe a little bit of Rocky Mountains, could see some, isolated flooding here and there. And then day 3, this time, still southern Florida is going to get a lot of moisture down here, but also the plains might be up for some rain, this time. The next 3 days, could be quite eventful for some rainfall. This shows like portions of Tennessee, Kentucky, areas could be up to 5 inches possible, which I could see happening. If you do get hit by those late evening and as well as early morning showers, I don't think we'll get up to 5 inches, but certainly a swath of 1 to 2, 3 inches are very possible. And then over here in the southwest, some areas could get up to up to an inch possible. Some areas might not receive any rain at all. The northeast, again, some areas could reach up to 1 to 2 to even 3 inches possible. And even the Pacific Northwest, we might be getting some moisture over here where some areas could get up to, 1 to 2 inches as well. For the next 6 to 10 days, over here in the southwest and much of the east coast are going to be below average for temperatures. Except for the central part of the United States, we might be a little bit warmer than average, and also the Pacific Northwest, as well as southern Florida, we might be a little above average for temperatures. For the next 8 to 14 days, we could see that over here in the east coast, that below than average air continues to weaken, and even over here in the southwest, we're no longer going to have that below than average temperatures happening. And then, this heat is going to start dominating the United States probably for over the next 2 weeks. Precipitation, this is actually kind of interesting. Half of the country is probably most likely going to be below average, and the other half is going to be above average. If you're on the west coast, you'll most likely see above average rainfall, but if you're over here on the east coast, most likely you'll be below average for rainfall, at least for the next 6 to 10 days. And then within the next 8 to 14 days, still going to be the same. However, even, the near normal average temperatures or near normal precipitation could be taking over, the southern half of the country. And then talking about drought, over here in the East Coast, where I'm circling, there have been a lot of droughts forming. Some droughts have been up to moderate to even severe drought in some areas. Over here on the West Coast, it has been improving some, especially along the Pacific Coast a little bit, but not by much, as some areas are still up to that extreme to even exceptional drought. Over here in the plains has improved, but the worst areas we've seen are especially the East Coast, where we've been seeing that below than average precipitation over the last bit. About the tropics, really quickly, is that over here we have ourselves AL91. Already formed off the coast of Africa, and we do have spaghetti models finally shown, and right now a lot of them do point right towards the Caribbean islands, which is not good and something we do not want to see. So that could be problematic. So if you guys are over here in the Caribbean islands, if you are seeing this, then you are going to need to be prepared for potentially a devastating storm. Even if it doesn't hit your area, still large waves are going to come up, just like Hurricane Aaron did, about almost a month ago that happened. We'll have large waves and heavy rainfall still move through the Caribbean islands, even though if it doesn't directly hit it. And then over here in Hawaii, we got ourselves quite the hurricane moving towards you guys. Right now, it is a Category 3 hurricane, Kiko. around 115 to 120 miles an hour. That is moving towards Hawaii. Hopefully, expecting from what we're seeing now, it'll weaken into a tropical storm. However, rainfall and big waves are going to be quite the issue as this thing heads towards Hawaii. Anyways, that's going to be it for my weather video today. So if you guys like to see another one, make sure you guys like and subscribe for those following updates, considering sharing with friends and family so we can reach out the word to other people. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.